So, hello and welcome to Raggy's Beer Reviews, not a beer review. So, bit of hijinks on the motorway yesterday and frightened us to death. So, we're going down to, we've had issues with cars all year. The BMW and a crap mechanic fucked it up, and he's been fucking other people's cars up as well. And based in Chilwell, Nottingham. I haven't got his card, and I'm a bit wary about saying his name online, but there's a lot of people he's ruining cars and getting away with it, and yeah, bad person. Then we've got the Nissan Qashqai. We've had to have a new flower reel on it, and something else that was 400 quid, and it's like, oh, come on. And that is like a squeak. Can't make out what the squeak is. Don't know. It's a strange one. It's not obvious in any way, shape or form. And anyway, going down to pick the wife up yesterday on the M1. Got onto the M1, went through Bulwell in Chilwell to get onto the M1. I had Andy with me, happy drinkers Andy. And there we are, we're going along. Bit nervous about the car, to be honest. The issues we've had at especially when the clutch went and I'm going into another car and I can't stop. I had to turn the engine off, so you know you build up a level of is it safety? No, it's not. I can't think of the actual word I'm looking for. But yeah, building up a confidence. Confidence is the word. Anyway, we're travelling down the M1. Tootling down. I'm not flying past people as I would do normally. These days with so many speed cameras, you can't anyway, so there's no point. Unless I have to pass somebody who's going bloody slow. I'm doing about 65 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden, there's this god-awful scraping coming, like something had come up into the car and it's going round, and you can hear this horrible noise, and it's like, what the fucking hell's that? There's nowhere to pull in. We're on the smart motorways. You pull in on a smart motorway, you're going to get fucking killed anyway, you know. Literally lasted for 30-40 seconds. All of a sudden it went. Look, we're looking behind us in the mirror, there's nothing there. The fucking hell was that? So, carrying on, my heart's already, anxiety's through the roof, and I'm driving, you know, and then all of a sudden, red engine management light came on. I'm like, oh fuck, what's that? And revved the engine without changing gear, and the engine sounded okay. Didn't sound any different to how it normally is. Did the standard things, looking at the temperature gauge, you know, little things like that. No, that was fine. This time I've slowed down to 60. Still can't get off the bloody motorway. And I mean, Andy says to me, so should we get off and have a look? But I thought, well, let's just get down to the wife if we can. Going along, he's going on YouTube and looking at Qashqai faults. The internet is good at sometimes, but it's utterly shit at other times. We got onto the A42, going along, and you know, anxiety's absolutely at its worst. I'm you know, you're like ready for the car to blow up, you know, or something to happen. I could smell burning coming from somewhere, and I'm thinking, oh, for God's sakes, you know. And I think it was somebody else's car, to be honest. But we're behind this van. It's got wood on the roof, and the top piece of wood, like doors, they look like doors, but I don't know if there was doors, but plywood or whatever, and you can see it going like that as he's going faster, and it's like, shit. And Andy says, that's going to break off. Whoever's going to be behind, don't get too close to him, that breaks off, it's coming at you. And he's like, fucking hell. Then we're behind this lorry that's going slow, and it's like, oh, this couldn't get any worse, you know. I'm absolutely crapping myself, because you know when something's coming. And anyway, we got all the way to Ashby de la Zouch, pulled into where my daughter's hen do was, and these bloody farmers roads worse than my road at work. Took about bumps. Got in, looked under the car, and it's got one of these like rubber sheets under the car to stop shit going up, which was really weird. What the hell? So you're driving along, how could anything get up to do any damage or to do anything? That's really weird. There's nothing visible, nothing at all visible that makes sense with the car. I said to Andy, I says, do you think that something has been left under the bonnet and it's gone down, clanking, making a noise, bouncing around, and then just shot out at speed? But why would it not do it before? We've had the car for about a month now. So I just can't work out what the hell it was. So what was happening was, when we finally got off the motorway, and because you go in the motorway, you're at 5th gear or 6th gear even, and you're not changing gears, and you're not really revving. As we came off the motorway, going down to 2nd and 3rd, because we're turning into little roads, you could hear this whoosh, like the only thing I can put it close to was like the exhaust is blowing at the front. And I thought, fucking hell. And that happened all the way into this place. So I left that bit out, but I've stuck it back in there. And it's like, what the hell? You know, you're panicking. And like I say, me and anxiety, it's my worst Achilles heel. And like I say, got there, and I'm looking underneath, we're all looking around it, no one can see anything that's obvious. The only thing with Nissan Qashqai's is it's got like a runner for the timing belt or fan belt on this side, and say the runners are that wide, the belt is nowhere near as wide as the runners, which is usually they're quite snug so they don't move around. But it wasn't. It was less, which I find strange. I mean, obviously it might be what it is, but strange. And there was these metal pipes going down. I tell you what, they make modern cars such knobs to work on. I mean, obviously they don't want you working on them. They want you to pay out. But when little things go wrong, it gets very expensive very quickly. And Andy's done some things with the pressing buttons in and got a reading to come up, and it was a P10 something, and basically it points to the fly shaft, crankshaft and a sensor, and it's like, oh no. When he said that, my fucking legs started to go, as they are now really. And I've just watched England lasses sadly lose to Spain. I thought they did really well, you know, they got all the way to the final. It just wasn't to be in the final. They certainly didn't embarrass themselves. They played really well. I think luck deserted them in the final. Hit the crossbar, didn't they? Had some really good near misses. I think the referee did a good job, to be fair. Only one decision that she didn't see, but for the most part, and that thing with the fucking penalty, was that really a penalty? For the amount of time took looking at it, from the amount of time she took looking at it and talking, they weren't sure one way or the other. Thank God it didn't go in. And Earps, Nottingham lady, yeah, one of your own. But anyway, yeah. So this is how fucked up cars can be at times. So there's a sensor, a plug-in sensor, and all Andy did was make sure it looked like it'd come out a little bit. So he pushed this sensor in. So that must be a push-in sensor. I don't understand cars in that way. And the wires had been twizzled round. He untwizzled the wires so there was less of a strain on the wires. And anyway, turned the engine on, still red light. We drove up and out the bumpy road onto the main road. I'm going down, and all of a sudden the red light's gone off. There's no issues with changing gear, none at all. Kept off the motorway. We went over to Melbourne. Funnily enough, there was a Bang the Elephant tap takeover at the Spirit Vaults in Melbourne, and we went over to Melbourne, and you know, we only keep off the motorway because motorways, you know, if you're going to break down on the country road and get the AA to come out, we're all covered, thank God, with our bank account. So these bank accounts sometimes come in handy. We are covered, and but bloody hell, you know, it could have been so much worse. I mean, fucking hell, driving along at nearly 70 miles an hour, whatever it was that came into the car and was moving around, you could hear it, the noise, and it's like, oh shit. And I'm sure it's happened to lots of people. I'm sure lots of people have had these experiences, and this is why keeping your car in tip-top condition, you know, decent tyres and that, you can understand MOTs and making sure your tyres are good, because bold tyres can blow and all this business. And I mean, I'm no mechanic or anything, but and then on the way home, like I said, I went for a pint. I needed a pint in that pub. Fantastic pub as well. Fucking hell. The Spirits Vault in Melbourne. Wow, what a pub. The brewery kit inside, 2.5 barrel kit. Wow. Yeah. They're brewing their own beer inside the pub. That's a dream. It's a dream to brew your own. And the setup's nice, you know. It's not, some setups aren't that great. And it's just a case of making it look as good as it can. So when people walk in, you're showing off what you're doing. And it's all presentation, isn't it? But their presentation's absolutely second to none. But the pub itself was amazing. Anyway, got back in the car. We drove all the way back to Long Eaton and that, and they've drove it today, and it's been absolutely fine. So God knows what it was, but it scared the absolute shiznit out of us. Don't need that at 70 miles an hour. Don't need it at fucking 30 miles an hour, but not at 70 miles an hour. And this is weird, not having, you know, if on a motorway now, especially around where we are, where all the smart motorways are, the M1, and there's nowhere to pull in. There's no hard shoulder. I mean, even on the hard shoulder, you're taking your life in your hands because some silly fucker's not watching what they're doing. But on a smart motorway, you know, you're fucking dead. You know, you've got to get out of the car, and you know the car's going to get took by somebody, because people don't watch what they're doing, drivers. And yeah, scary moment, really scary. Our luck with cars is zero. Although, to be quite fair, after that, sorting that out, you know, you're like, oh God, thank God. But we've had a terrible year of bad luck. And if anybody from the Chilwell area of Nottingham watches this video and wants to be advised of a garage, of a mechanic, mobile mechanic, to never take their car to, message me. I'll give you the name. His page needs taking off Facebook. And really, I ought to try to do that, because there's people out there wanting good mechanics, and I'm going to put that on my Facebook page and share it. A good mechanic, a good family mechanic, because good mechanics that care about your safety as well as theirs, as their brand, are the best. Not dodgy bleeders, wrecking cars, then wrecking one car. I had to scrap the BMW to go to another car. Could I, if I win the lottery, will I go after him? Do you know something? That would be lovely. You shouldn't be. You should never be looking after people's cars if you're putting them in a dangerous condition with no brakes and that. Trading standards, bunch of knobs, fucking useless. But anyway, so yeah, that's my hijinks. Hijinks on the M1. Scary times. I was lucky, you know, carried on driving. Took faith that the car, that whatever it was not as serious as it says it was. But that's scary, isn't it? These fucking these red engine management lights scare the shit out of people. And all it was a sensor. And, you know, if you're an older person, if you're a lady on your own, or somebody with bad anxiety, most people, you're going to think, oh my God, what the hell's this? Can you imagine if we'd have pulled over? I mean, we may have had to pull over if you know, in the grand scheme of things, but scary. Tales of woe, eh? Cheers, one.